Hola everyone, my name is Sofi and I just started a booktube channel. So I've been reading for a while, forever, but really taking it seriously for the last year and a half. And I decided to just take the plunge and go ahead and start my channel. And I just want to make this a place where we can share different experiences in reading, different books, different types of ways of reading, and just make it a fun place for everyone. So I decided to start with a booktube tag. I know this is something that it's been done before for many years, and I just found like the latest list that I could find. So hopefully this is still relevant for a lot of you, and that way you can kind of get to know me a little bit. Okay, so the first question is, why did you start this channel? So like I said, I've been reading for about a year and a half with my Instagram account, and I decided to share there all the books that I've been reading every month. I kind of do it within theme per month. I might change it this year and then make suggestions. Also, be super flexible. The books that I suggest, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna end up reading them. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share my channel, so that people know that there's a place for every type of reader. I'm also a bilingual reader, so I'm mostly reading English, but I also read a lot in Spanish, and I like recommending like both, and especially I like people recommending books in Spanish to me, because I don't my taste in reading because of the way it is written. Um, it is just my personal taste, but sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to find the books that I really love in Spanish. So I love it when people do recommendations, because I can read all types of books. So that's what I wanted to share also with the people that like to see my channel, or they like to be on my Instagram account, that I can share different books that they haven't heard of, maybe, or the books that are not the most popular, perhaps. I like to read popular books, yes, but I also like to read like obscure books, or books in a different language, or again, because I do it within a theme per month, then that really allows me to search for books that maybe not a lot of people are talking about in the moment, and maybe even find some that were super popular a couple of years ago, and then I'm just discovering it now based on the thing that I picked. More than anything, I want it to be a place where all types of readers are welcome: audiobook listeners, physical book readers, any type of reader, bilingual readers. Everyone is welcome here. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? Maybe I covered this a little bit. I think that the fun thing that I can bring, I don't know, I kind of have like a dad joke kind of humor. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be super fun for a lot of people, but maybe for some of you, hopefully. I don't take myself too seriously when it comes to this. I'm not trying to read 100 books in a month. I'm not trying to read the most popular books, thickest books, the most academic books. I'll read from a comic book to a kid's book to a classic book, so any book really. So I think you're gonna find a variety here. Um, Again, if you're a mood reader and you're in the mood for a murder mystery, or for women writers, or for Native American literature, then I think my channel might be good for you, because at the end of the month you're gonna see my wrap-ups, and you're gonna see then the theme, so you can go ahead and go straight to that video of the mood you're in, and maybe look for some recs. So I think that's kind of unique things that I might be able to bring to the table, and not just like, again, like I said, like the popular books, which I love those booktubers, because I can get in the loop. I can go ahead and see what's popular, and then get recommendations from them. But because a lot of people do that already, I think mine is a bit different that way. So I'm just like you. I'm gonna go see those amazing booktubers for popular books, or I know Meg with Books loves murder mysteries, so I love watching her videos just for that. So I think that in my videos you might get a little bit of a variety, again, depending on the month. And at the beginning of the year, I'm gonna share the months for the whole year, the themes for the whole year. So you're gonna be able to see what I'm gonna be reading and see if you're interested that particular month in reading along with me. And I also have surprise readings, so I suggest a couple of books or a few books, but then I also have surprise readings each month that I'm gonna be able to share with you guys. What are you most excited for about this new channel? Honestly, I think the most exciting part for me is being part of the community, of the Booktube community. There's so many accounts that I've been watching, again, for like a year and a half when I started my reading journey. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go ahead and start a channel, but now seeing the community, seeing booktubers stuck to each other, do reading sprints together or do a live together, I think that's a lot of fun. Where I'm from, I haven't found like a big community of readers, and sometimes the community of readers that exist, each of them are in their own like niche, so it's kind of difficult to be part of that particular niche, simply because, again, based on taste, based on readings, based on age, based on all of that. So I think Booktube is a really broad community where you can find people who are gonna read all kinds of books of all kinds of ages, of all kinds of niches, and I think you can really find your people there. So I think that's like the most exciting part. Why do you love reading? I think that must be like probably one of the most popular answers, but I'm gonna answer it that way anyway. I think what I love most about reading is being able to go into new worlds, go into worlds that we might not be able to go at the moment. Let's say different countries, different cultures, but worlds that we will never be able to go to because they're fantasy, right? So just escaping this reality and thinking that there's a whole other world out there, even if it's just in your head. So I think that's why I love reading. And even if you're reading the most fantastical story, there's always some character that you can kind of relate to, because the human experience is the same no matter what. We all want the same thing, which is to be understood, to be heard, to be seen, to be loved. So I think being able to find that in fantastical worlds, different worlds, or even different cultures within our world, I think that's amazing. So that's why I love reading. What book or series got you into reading? So I remember, like, I've read my whole life. My parents always had books around, and they always gave us books as children. But the book that really got me into reading was Sense and Sensibility. And not necessarily the book, but Jane Austen herself. So I remember going, and this is a bit of a segue, but I remember going to a video store when I was in middle school and seeing the poster for Sense and Sensibility with Kate Winslet and Emma Thompson and Hugh Grant, and thinking, oh wow, that looks very different from what I used to usually watch, because again, I was in middle school, so I usually watch like Disney stuff. I was just starting middle school, so this was a little bit of a different take. I think my closest encounter with Austen at that time was Clueless, which had come out, I think, the year before. But obviously I didn't know that Clueless was based on Emma. And when I saw that poster, I remember being really intrigued, watched the movie, loved it forever, got the book when I realized it was a book. And then that really got me into my whole Jane Austen phase. And I have a whole collection. For those of you who have been following for a while, Jane Austen is like my favorite. I found her humor great. I find her views on society really funny and really on point and really true. So yeah, I really like Jane Austen. So she's really who got me into reading, and because she got me into classics, then I started reading more classics. And then as I started reading more classics, I got into other types of literature, so now I read everything. So yeah, for me, I know there's a lot of people who might say the same thing, but it was definitely Jane Austen. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? What questions would I ask my favorite booktubers? God, because I've been watching them for a long time, I think that I wouldn't ask like, "What's your favorite books to read?" Because I've seen them and I see their taste. Maybe I would ask. I think I would ask if you can be in a book to TV or book to film adaptation, which one would you be in and which character would you be? So I think I would ask that, and I think maybe Meg with Books would say something from Agatha Christie, perhaps maybe not, or maybe someone from The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. I don't know. Maybe a Clockwork Reader would say something. I don't know what. She's very diverse in her reading, so I don't know. But I think that's an interesting question. Like, what film or TV adaptation would you be in, and which character would you be? I think I would ask that. I would ask that to a Clockwork Reader. I would ask that to Chrissy Jones. I would ask that to Books with Leo, Books with Lala, How to Train Your Gavin. Who else would I ask that to? I'll think about who else would I ask. There's a lot more that I would ask. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I really want to make this channel a place again that's a community based driven. I feel that maybe my bilingualism and my I feel maybe that would be a challenge. Again, when you open up the comments, that could be for any type of comments. So again, that would be the challenge for me, not necessarily the books that I want to share or what I want to talk to you guys about, because that depends on me, and hopefully you guys like what I'm showing you, and obviously I would take your advice into consideration and make changes or do a little bit of more of what you like while still doing everything that I love. But I think more than anything, the comments, I really feel like in general social media should be a place where if you like something, go ahead and I would never follow an account that I didn't like just to comment bad things. So if there's an account that I don't like, or if there's an account that I do like and sometimes they do things or say things that I don't agree with, I simply unfollow. Like, I don't follow them anymore and I don't watch them anymore. I really don't understand the dynamic of following someone just to criticize them in a negative way, not in a positive way, in a negative way. So I think that would be the hardest part, but I think for that I might just get someone else to check on the comments, or simply just, like block, delete, whatever. Because I really want this to be a positive place for everyone who is trying to join and say what they're thinking. Hopefully, some people will join. Like, my languages are English and Spanish, but hopefully English is the language that is gonna unite us all. And people that speak other languages, Japanese and English or Danish and English, can go ahead and join the conversation and just go ahead and have something in common and not be afraid of their saying the wrong thing because of their being bilingual. Because sometimes our brains work differently and we mix words and our brain goes faster than our mouth and all that. So yeah, I think that's the challenge that I think is gonna be harder. When it comes to numbers and things like that, they'll just people that want to be here are gonna be here. So yeah, I think that's all you can do is try your best, and hopefully people will like it and watch. When did you start reading? So I started reading very young, but through my whole life I had like periods where I read a lot. I remember when I started reading being 6 years old, and my grandpa gave me my boo boo, we call him, or I call them boo boo. My boo boo gave me this can with tons of little books inside, and I read them and read them and read them all the time. And then I got other little books, the Golden Series. I don't know if you guys remember those. I got those books too. Um, so when I was younger, I started reading kids' books like everybody else. And then as a teen, I remember the book that impacted me the most was The Diary of Anne Frank, and that really got me into reading other stories about other people, about other cultures, religions, experiences in life, nationalities. Um, so I think that one really made an impact when it comes to like classic literature or romance. Really, Jane Austen in my standard. I started reading when I was a child, when I started learning how to read. Where did you read? I almost always read in my bedroom. When I was a child, I was reading in my bedroom. As an adult, again in my bedroom. However, now that I've gotten a lot into audiobooks, I can read or I can listen to the books wherever I want. So usually I have a little reader of my own. So whenever I'm waiting for a little reader to come out of school or out of any of her activities, then I listen to the audiobooks also while I'm doing like housekeeping things or while I'm preparing for work. Um, I go ahead and listen to my audio. And the last one is, what kind of books do you like to read? I like to read all kinds of books. This last year and a half where I really try to get into a goal. For example, when I started my reading journey, I decided to start it in October of 2022, like my serious reader's journey. And I just decided to start, not wait until 2023 started. Uh, so I decided to try and read 10 books a month, and I was able to make that happen. Um, so for 2023, I decided to do the same thing, kind of go with themes, and put a goal of 10 books per month. Um, so that's when I really started to notice which books I like most, which books I gravitated towards. So, like I said, I realized really quickly that contemporary romance wasn't for me. I couldn't stand most of the tropes that were in the contemporary romance. I'm sure there's gonna be one book or a couple of books that I'm gonna love, but for now, I haven't found that particular book. I also realized that I really love magical realism. I really like fantasy mixed with murder mystery more than quest like fantasy. So I like it when we're trying to solve something. We're trying to get to the bottom of something. So any murder mysteries I like, and murder mysteries or mysteries, not they don't have to be murder. Mysteries where they have a fantastical elements or fantastical characters, I really like. What else do I really like cozy reading. I never thought that I like cozy reading, or maybe I never read cozy reading. Um, but I really liked the Tea Dragon Society. I really like Legends and Lattes, stuff like that. No high stakes, just vibes, just characters and their simple life. I also like those. So I think that those are my favorite: mysteries, murder mysteries, magical realism, um, cozy books, cozy reads. And yeah, I think that's it. I think those are my favorite books to read. But I would read anything. I will read all the books that you recommend and see if I like them, see if I don't, see that type of voices that I like, the type of voices that I know don't, the type of narrator that I like. Just because a cozy book or a murder mystery or a fantastical mystery doesn't mean that I'm gonna like it. The narrator and the characters really have to make sense for me. If something doesn't make sense because of the trope, then I'm not gonna like it. I don't like love triangles also. I find them really unbelievable. Same thing as miscommunication. I think a love triangle again is the result of a miscommunication pattern. So again, it's really hard for me to accept miscommunication. And let me just say this, that because I have a degree in communications, So I think that's why I'm very clear and very direct. So yeah, miscommunication is just not for me, but it's my own personal taste. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm probably gonna do another video telling you a little bit more specific things about myself, hopefully in the near future. But for now, that's it. That's the uh, Booktube Newbie tag. So hopefully you like my answers. Hopefully you guys kind of want to join me on this journey and this adventure. And I will be seeing you here a lot. So just make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, follow. Go ahead and check out my other social media. It's gonna be down there on the description. You can also see my Patreon, and just come and be part of this great community, um, where everybody here can read and support each other. So thank you. Bye.